Very morning to people in the West. Good afternoon to people in the East. So very to see you all up early in the morning and continue our sadhana of Bhagavad Gita. Let us begin with opening prayers. Hari Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Dayakaram Dayakaram Dantam Dharma Pravartakam Pranamami Dayanandam Madacharya-varam param. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. So we will begin with the Dhyana shlokas, the meditation verses of Gita, the first 5 that we have seen. People at home, if you are able to chant, you can chant. Otherwise, you can just listen and just invoke the grace of the teachings to be with you. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Kratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambat Tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavatveshinim Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullaravindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamayah Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetreka Panaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamrita Duhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsas Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. The next few verses quite a little difficult because of the Sanskrit. So don't worry. As I said, you have the recordings. You can listen again and again to get it. I will just chant and you can repeat the second time I chant. Whoever can repeat, please do. Bhishma Drona Tata Jayatra Tajala. Bhishma Drona Tata Jayatra Jala. Gandhara Nilotpala Gandhara Nilotpala Shalyagrahavati Kripena Vahani Shalyagraha Kripe Shalyagrahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakula Karnena Velakula Ashvathama Vikarna Gora Makara Ashvathama Vikarna Gora Makara Duryodhana Vartini Duryodhana Vartini Sotirna khalu pandavairananadhi. Sotirna khalu pandavairananadhi. Kaivartakah Keshavaha. Kaivartakah Keshavaha. All verse together. भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयत्रदजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरननदी कैवर्तकः केशवः. So Sanskrit, very, as I said, very beautiful language. It's given to poetry. So here there is an analogy of the whole battle between these Kauravas who are given to wrong action and wrong thinking, and the Pandavas who are in line with ethics and this values. So here Krishna is likened to a boatman who ferries people across this river of battle in life. So Kaivartakaha Keshavaha, the fourth line, it's there. The divine boatman, who is Krishna, he knows how to steer this boat in the treacherous river of samsara. So all the other characters are depicted as being obstacles in life of the Pandavas, the upheavals, the storms, the disappointments, the challenges that everybody has to face. These characters in the Mahabharata are likened to that. So this dangerous river, this guidance in the dangerous river of life is through the divine boatman, which is Krishna. And what are the dangers facing the Pandavas? Bhishma, Drona, Tata. So we'll see the two great stalwarts, the gurus, Bhishma and Drona, who are fighting on the Duryodhana's side, on the Kaurava side, which is the side that is given to wrong action. They're fighting there. They are the banks of the river. So they steer the course of the river. And very symbolically, they have the power to dictate the course of the battle, course of the war. They were such great warriors. Bhishma, in fact, had a particular boon called Icha Mrityu. Icha Mrityu means he could choose the moment of his death. So you see in the Mahabharata, he actually lies on the bed of arrows until the sun begins its northern course, Uttarayana we call it. He only left his body when the sun began the northern course, which is considered an auspicious time to leave, to die actually. So Bhishma, Drona is another guru of the Kauravas and the Pandavas. He was the greatest archer and Arjuna's guru. So he taught the art of archery. He made Arjuna a great master of archery. So they are the banks of this river. And Jayadratha Jala. Jayadratha is another king who is fighting on the opposing side. He is said to be the waters of the river. Waters are the content of the river. So he is the one who has provided huge armies to Duryodhana to fight the war. So he is the content of that river. Gandhara Nilotpala. So many of you may not know the stories in Mahabharata. Unfortunately, I don't have time to go through, but they're very interesting. And as I said, psychology of all humans is there in the Mahabharata. But Gandhara Nilotpala refers to the uncle, Duryodhana's maternal uncle called Shakuni. And Nilotpala, very interesting. It is, blue lily, actually. Blue lily in the water. But it is not a very endearing term in this way, because he was very manipulative and very devious. And in fact, the war was instigated by him alone. And why is he compared to blue lilies? because on the surface, the lilies look so beautiful. So Nilotpala actually talks about deception, two-faced, In the surface, it looks very beautiful, but under the water, lilies grow in stagnant water and their roots spread under the surface. So if you get caught in a lily, growth, you cannot get out. So this is why he's compared to this Nilotpala. It's difficult to navigate, even though he is very enticing in front. He's a sweet talker, but he's a first-class schemer. So Nilotpala. Shalya Grahavati. Shalya is the charioteer of another great character in the Mahabharata called Karna. And Shalya is compared to a crocodile. He was a great opportunist. Grahavati, opportunist, he's a grabber. Grahavati means grabs, one who grabs. And he will always take the best deal that suits him. So whichever side it is, it doesn't matter. If it is on ethical side or non-ethical side, he doesn't care. He grabs the opportunity. Kripena Vahani. Kripa is another great archer, another one of the gurus, the teachers of the Pandavas and Kauravas, and he was Vahani, like powerful undercurrent in this river, pulling the Pandavas' boat down. Karnena Vela Kula. The turbulent waters, Vela Kula, turbulent waters are created by Karna. Karna, he is the original tragic hero. Tragic heroes, he was rejected by his mother. Lot of things stem from his childhood. You can see through the Mahabharata, as his character grows, his adult self is based on the rejection of the mother as a child. So everything he did was to prove himself to everybody. And a very beautiful character. If you have the chance to study, Karna was a wonderful person to study. And he always needs approval from others. And so he becomes these turbulent waves in the water. He's such a great warrior, but he doesn't approve himself. So he always wants Duryodhana, very cleverly approves him, gives him position, gives him power. So he becomes totally devoted and loyal to Duryodhana, also, although he knows he is not an ethical person. Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara. Makara is a shark, again, another type of, crocodile or anything that eats flesh. Ashwathama is the son of Drona. So don't worry about all these names, just to go through quickly this verse. He has a voracious appetite. So that's why he's likened to this shark. And he wants to kill the Pandava army. Vikarna is the brother of Duryodhana. So both of them are like flesh-eating sharks in this river of samsara for the Pandavas. And Duryodhana, Avartini. What is Duryodhana, the main character in the opposing side? He is the whirlpools in the water. Very interestingly as well, if you go near this Duryodhana, he had the ability to suck everybody underwater. So many people didn't approve of his action, but they got sucked into his way of acting. So all of these Rananadi, this river of battle, Kaivartakaha Keshavaha, only Lord Krishna is the divine boatman who can navigate these treacherous waters of all these characters. Keshavaha, that is Bhagavan. So Kaivartak Keshavaha. Now the next verse describes the challenges Arjuna faces. He says, Parasharya vachasarojamamalam. Parasarya vachasarojamamalam. Gītārtha-gandhotkatam. Gītārtha-gandhotkatam. Nānākhyānaka-kesaram harikatha. Nānākhyānaka-kesaram harikatha. Sambodhana bodhitam. Sambodhana bodhitam. Loke sajjana shat shatpadair aharaha. Loke sajjana shatpadair aharaha. Pepiyamanam muda. Pepiyamanam muda. Bhuyad bharata pankajam kalimala pradvamsina shreyase. Bhuyad bharata pankajam kalimala pradvamsina shreyase. So we won't chant it again. Again, you can listen to the recording. This verse actually, not the challenges Arjuna has faced is in the previous verse. Now from these verses, praise of Mahabharata, where Gita is found, is said. So in this verse, Mahabharata is likened to a spotless lotus. So it is, again, we saw the significance of lotus, spiritual lotus. It has a daily process of life, death, and re-emergence, always spotless, remaining untouched by the murky waters. So, Parasharya Vachaha Sarojam. The lotus is born in a lake, the lake of words. So, these words are of Parashara. Parashara is another name for Vyasa. So he is the composer of Mahabharata. So this lake, this Mahabharata is born in this lake of words, which is Parashara, born of Parashara. And Vachaha means from his own lips. It is first-hand knowledge. Sarojam is lotus. So very beautiful. Sarojam, Sarasa Jam, Sarasja. Sarasja means born of the water. So there are many words in Sanskrit for one object. The beauty of Sanskrit language is that it describes the qualities and attributes of objects. So you can have thousands of words to explain one thing. So lotus has a lot of beautiful words. There is another word for lotus called pankaja. Panka is slush, slime, all of this. Ja means born. That which is born in slushy waters, murky waters is also called lotus. So again, beauty of Sanskrit. And this lotus is amalam. So mala means impurity, defects. Mala means any kind of dirt. Amalam means totally pure. And Gitartha Gandot Katam. This Gandha Utkatam means this Mahabharata lotus exudes the fragrance of Bhagavad Gita. So the fragrance emanating from this lotus of Mahabharata is Gitartha, the teachings of Gita. And these teachings draw all from far and wide because of the fragrance. So very nice. Utkatam means this fragrance spreads far and wide, creating fame for that Gita. And another part of the lotus is the stamen, the reproductive part, the stamens. So Nana Kyanaka Kesaram. What are the stamens that reproduce? They are the stories interwoven within the Mahabharata. So in the Mahabharata, there are many, many stories which talk about values, which give actually, a lot of understanding about life. They are the stamens of the lotus. And Hari Katha Sambodhana Abhoditam. It is expanded. It's a fully bloomed lotus. And the stories of Krishna are like the sun that makes the lotus bloom and, shine forth. And wherever this lotus is blooming, there are always insects that come to drink the nectar of the lotus. The bees come to drink. So who are these bees that come to drink this nectar of the lotus in the Mahabharata? Sajjana Shatpadai Pepiyamanam. They are the bees of students of Gita. The bees are the six-legged. Shatpadehi means six-legged. So we're not six-legged, but it's just symbolic. They are the honeybees, the six-legged ones that come and drink this nectar of teachings from the lotus of Mahabharata. Loke Sajjana. And they're not just anybody, they're Sajjana, good people, Satjana, like Satsang you have. People given to values, people given to following Dharma. So not just everybody comes and drinks from this lotus. The people who find value in this teaching, they come to drink the nectar of wisdom. And how often do they come and drink? Aharahaha pepiyamanam. Ahara is a beautiful word. Aharahaha means day after day. Day after day, daily they come and drink. That is what we're doing for 6 months. We're practically drinking this nectar daily from the Mahabharata lotus. And how do they drink? Muda. They don't drink with any pressure. They don't drink because they have to drink. They drink joyfully. They don't drink anxiously. Muda means they drink joyfully the nectar. Bharata pankajam naha shreyase bhuyat. The last line says that, may this lotus of Mahabharata be for the highest good of all. Naha shreyase actually means for our highest good. So it is a prayer and our well-being. Shreyas means that which is most beneficial for the person. Shreyas. May it give us what is the most beneficial for us, which is liberation, moksha. So Shreyase Bhuyat and Kalimala Pradvamsi. Kalimala Pradvamsi, another thing that Mahabharata and the teachings of Gita can do is destroy the problems we face in the Kali Yuga. So Kali Yuga, there are certain time periods given in the scriptures which talk about certain qualities those times will have. And right now we are all as humanity stuck in this yuga, this time period called Kali Yuga. And this Kali Yuga is known for its lack of righteousness, lack of dharma, selfishness, greed, materialism, lack of gratitude. All of this Kali Yuga is known for. So Gita's teachings, Mahabharata's teachings, Pradvamsi, they are the destroyer of the malam, the impurities that are born in this time period called Kali. So very beautifully, Kali Mala Pradvamsi. This is the praise of the Mahabharata. The next verse now praises how Krishna, as symbolic as the luck factor in life, as the grace factor in life, can work miracles in one's life. So it says here, Mukam karoti vachalam, Mukam karoti vachalam, Pangum langhayate girim, Pangum langhayate girim, Yat kripatamaham bande, Yat kripatamaham bande, Paramananda Madhavam, Paramananda Madhavam, Mukam karoti vachalam, Pangum langhayate girim, Yat kripatamaham bande, Paramananda Madhavam. So this verse talks about having this Shraddha. Shraddha is very loosely translated as faith, but it is more than faith. Having this committed understanding of the Lord can work miracles in life. Who is this? Who is this Lord? Who is this Ishvara? Paramananda Madhavam Vande. I salute. Vande means I surrender to, I don't resist. Vande, this source of Paramananda, of limitless joy. He is the source of limitless joy. In this text, he is known as Madhava. That is another name for Krishna. But the source of limitless joy can be taken in any name and form. So Paramananda Madhavam, he is the source of what we really wish for in life, which is limitlessness. Yet Kripa means with the grace. Kripa is grace. The grace is that extra factor in life which gives you the ability to be in the right place at the right time. So that is what grace gives everybody. Yet Kripa, whose grace, whose compassion, actually, also you can say Kripa can mean compassion. And grace is something to be earned. We will see that in the Gita. It is not something that simply falls into our laps. It is something that the free will is used for to earn in life. And we will see how we can earn grace. Like a huge reservoir of water, everybody has access to tap this reservoir of grace. Each one has their own reservoir of grace. And this verse says grace can make the seemingly impossible possible. Mukam vachalam karoti means the one who is mute. The grace of the Lord can make them eloquent. So it is just symbolic. If you find you cannot speak very well, this grace can make you speak very well. So the seemingly unachievable, a dumb person who cannot speak, the grace gives you the ability to speak. Pangum girim langayate. What else can grace do? If you're lame, if you're disabled, this grace can help you even scale a mountain. Pangum girim langayate. You think you can't do it? Grace can help you to do it. So the one who gives grace is invoked in this verse. Tam madhavam aham mande. The one who makes the impossible possible, I offer my surrender to that one. So very, very often quoted verse, very beautiful verse. The one that gives this Shraddha, this faith. The last verse of the Gita Dhyānam, this again praises all the the whole teaching, and also does namaskara to all the other demigods, because without their grace also the study cannot be fulfilling. The demigods we understand as these various presiding deities of nature. Sometimes if we're in some natural disaster, our study gets blocked, right? I remember once I was trapped in Chennai during floods, and there was no internet, there was no connection. Studies also get obstacles. And in Vedic culture, in this Sanatana Dharma, we call it, many of the gods were gods of nature, as we see in many indigenous cultures, actually. So all over the world, we have cultures which invoke this Ishvara, this order in aspects of nature. So it's very important also that all of these, also we take the grace of all of these aspects. So here this verse says, Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha. Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi. Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi. Vede Sangapadakramopaniषदैः. Vede Sangapadakramopaniषदैः. Gayanti yam samaga. Gayanti yam samaga. Dhyanavastita Gatena manasa. Dhyanavastita Gatena manasa. Pashyanti yam yoginaha. Pashyanti yam yoginaha. Yasyantam navidussura suraganaha. Yasyantam na vidussura suraganaha Devaya tasmai namaha. Devaya tasmai namaha. So there is no H there. Sura ganaha. Because of chanting rules, that visarga, that last aha has been dropped. But when you chant it, you bring it in. Sura ganaha. You can mark that in the text. So here, basically, you are taking the blessings of all the devatas. Tasme devaya namaha. Again, the one order, deva. Deva means God, literally, but it comes from the Sanskrit root div, to shine. So anything that shines is a celestial, very beautiful. The div, that light, the one that lights up all lights, the one that lends existence to even all the luminaries, is that Devaha. And Yam Stuvanti, this Deva is worshipped by so many other deities as well. So not only I offer my salutations, all the other devatas also offer the salutations. And here, this devatas, as I said, are seen, are that one order, Ishvara, seen from different standpoints. So they are the presiding deities, or we call them in English functionaries of the natural laws and orders and forces of the universe. So depicted in the Sanatana Dharma culture as devatas. So we see the light behind the sun, the power behind the sun to shine is given a name Surya or Aditya. So like this, there are many deities of nature, and the same deities that preside in natural forces also are in the human body. So the presiding deity of the eyes is also the sun, Aditya. Then Varuna, god of rains. I salute the god of rains, the god of water. We have in ancient Greece Poseidon. We have Neptune in ancient Rome. So the similar idea here, this god of rains, I also invoke as grace, and I invoke in the form of this grace in life to have no obstacles where Varuna is concerned. In fact, Varuna, being the lord of water, is also extremely important in Vedic culture. And in science also, many experiments have been done. Many people I would have seen in temples, we do a ritual called Abhisheka, where we pour the liquids over the actual linga or the deity. And at the same time, we chant the mantras. So water is considered an excellent conductor of mantras, of this vibration, sound vibration. So you have in Western culture, baptism is also done with water. So it is a very purifying effect. And waters, when they're charged with mantras, are said to be very, very purifying. So Varuna becomes an important deity in Vedic culture. Rudra is storm gods, the god of storms, the god of winds. And so Rudra also is invoked here to prevent any obstacles from that side as well. Maruts, another form of deities, natural deities responsible for all, storms, thunder, all of this, along with the Rudras. They all sing Stuvanti. So not just I sing the glory, their glory, they all sing the glory of the one. So that is beautiful. These gods of nature praise also the one, Divyehi Stavehi, through these divine hymns or divine chants, Divyehi Stavehi, and Samagaha Gayanti. They also sing this Sama. So there is a Veda called Sama Veda. Sama Veda is the Rig Veda, one of the other Vedas put into musical form. And it is said that all forms of music stem from this particular Veda, which has singing notes. When you hear it, it is not the normal chanting, Vedic chanting that we're used to. It is more like a musical chant. And Anga Vedehi, Padakramopanishadehi. So these saying that these Vedas, there's not only Vedas that are being praised here, also the auxiliary scriptures. There are auxiliaries to Vedas, secondary scriptures. They're also chanting all of these. They know all of these, and they're praising the one Lord through all of these. So there is a very interesting, I think, when we have time, I will show you how Gayatri Mantra is chanted in one of these systems. You repeat, this is how it was actually trained in those times. So everything was an oral tradition. So people heard it and they memorized it through this constant chanting of these special swaras, intonations. Just to give you a taster of it, the Ganapata, the method of chanting Gayatri, according to a certain method called Ganapata, is like this. Om Bhuhu Bhuvaha Bhuvaha Bhuhu Bhuhu Bhuvaha Suvaha Bhuvaha Bhuhu Bhuhu Bhuvaha Suvaha. So you go one forward, two back, like this. There are many, many mathematical ways of training the mind to learn the chant. That is called Ganapata system. And there's a different types of chanting. What the verse says is that these different types of chanting, they also praise you. Yoginaha yam pashyanti. And the yogis, the people who are meditating, they see this Lord in the mind. But as they're meditating, they visualize the Lord in their mind and they see this Lord in the mind. Tat gatena manasa, with their minds focused on this deity of their choice, they see the Lord in their mind. Dhyāna vastita, in the deep state of meditation, they visualize the Lord. So again, praising all that praise the Lord, and I praise those who praise the Lord. Yes yantam na vidus sura gana. At the same time, here, this line says that even all of these demigods, they don't know him, na viduhu. They don't know his true nature. So it is not easy to understand the one, because just because you have a high position, you are the demigod, or you have achieved that. Anybody can achieve, according to our, the Vedas. You've achieved that high position, doesn't mean you understand Ishvara. So yes, yantam means they don't know the limits of the Lord. He is unfathomable. He is limitless. And it is a question of discovering who this one is. So with this, I went through very quickly the last three because I want to progress with the first chapter. With this, the 9 verses of the Gita Dhyānam are completed, and everybody can leisurely go back in their own time and learn these Dhyana shlokas. Traditionally, they are repeated by memory. So before we begin any Gita study, these Dhyana shlokas are repeated, and just to invoke the grace of all the composer of the text itself, and of course of Ishvara. So now we enter into the Gita. We have seen the first verse already. And as I said, I'm going to go through quite quickly through this first chapter. It, requires also some understanding of Mahabharata and the characters. So there are very long names here. People who are new to this text, please don't worry about getting all the names and everything. It is, as I said, the first chapter is to set down the fundamental problem, to show Arjuna's mind how it changes from full confidence, fighting the war, to total depression and despondency, which is, like having a nervous breakdown. So that is, the first chapter is to set the scene for the whole of the teaching of the rest of the chapters. So again, let us chant the first verse. We will, at the end of the class, whatever verses we have seen, we will train you to chant those. We can chant together, but now when I'm teaching, I will chant myself. You can follow if you know at home. Dhritarashtra uvacha Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta mamakav pandavascheva kimakurvata Sanjaya. So we saw this briefly, that Dhritarashtra is being told what is happening on the battlefield. The teaching begins with the 11th verse of the 2nd chapter alone. But as I said, the foundation for the entire Gita is laid down here. And the main thing that is highlighted in this first chapter is inner conflict. We see in the first verse itself, there is a separation that the blind king does between my people and others. So this separating the world into two things for all of us, things that I like, things that I don't like. And there's a middle category also, things I'm indifferent about. So I don't care. Things that I'm indifferent about don't bother my mind. But if you really examine your mind, what disturbs me are things I intensely like or things I intensely dislike. So the first verse itself lays down the main problem for humanity, dividing the world into this twofold division. And we saw Dharma Kshetre symbolic of the physical body. The physical body is that which acts in the world, and the physical body is how I reap this results of action depending on the marker of choice. If I go along with ethical norms, the texts say that you will incur a result called punya. Punya means pleasant situations for you in your life, either in this life or in future lives. So this is the law of cause and effect of karma, how it works. Karma and dharma are very closely intertwined. Your action in life using your free will determines the pleasant situations and unpleasant. So this is what, again, it's a model. So model means you can accept it or not accept it, but this is what the Vedas talk about, the law of karma and dharma. Dharma is the marker for my choice. If I do action in life in accordance with dharma, I incur a result called punya, which manifests as pleasant results for me. If I go rub against the order, which is dharma, I do something unethical knowingly. I know it is not the right thing to do, but pressure of desire pushes me. Krishna will talk about that in 3rd chapter very beautifully. He says, Arjuna asked that question, what is it that pushes me to do the wrong thing, even though I know it's the wrong thing? So Krishna gives him the answer there. But if I do the wrong thing, the Shastra reveals that you will incur a result of action called papa. Papa karma, how does it manifest? That result of action will manifest in the form of unpleasant situations for you in your life. So this law of karma, if you really analyze life, it makes a lot of sense, and it gives a lot of logical understanding of why things are happening the way they are. And many people think, I'm so good in this life. I'm doing all good action. I'm always given to dharma, but still unpleasant situations keep manifesting for me. That's where the knowledge of karma can come into the picture, because what you do right now need not be connected to the result you're experiencing right now. So the result you're experiencing in this moment may be as a consequence of past action, past use of free will. So again, as I said, this is just a model. Dharma kshetre is the dharma, the the place where I incur this punya and papa, these two results of action. Kurukshetre is where the battle happens in my mind. Should I do this? Should I not do this? Am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? This is the inner battle, Kurukshetra. The real battlefield is in the mind. So very beautifully, the first verse, as we saw, lays out this idea of karma and dharma intertwined together, the moral order which becomes a theme throughout the Gita, living a life of values is conducive to spiritual success. Even if I lose out on securities and pleasure, the texts say if you stick to this dharma of universal values, then you are successful spiritually. So we are interested in what? Material success or spiritual success? In fact, you don't have to divide the two like that, because you can also become materially successful following dharma also. It doesn't have to be opposed to each other, but generally it is difficult all the time to live with ethical norms in this world where they are compromised all over the place. And compromise of ethics is seen as normal in many places. That's a very, very interesting thing. The normality that people give to compromising dharma. Oh, no, everybody does it. Let's do it. No. As a spiritual seeker, I'm very clear. If I create this inner split of knowing I'm doing the wrong thing, but doing it anyway, that is not going to be conducive for me discovering moksha. So here, Yuyutsavaha, we're all fighting this inner battle with this likes and dislikes. And here the first verse starts like this, with the laying down the theme of the Gita, one of the major themes. Next verse, Sanjaya starts relating what is happening on the battlefield. We'll go through quite quickly through these verses. Sanjaya uvacha drishtva tu pandavanikam vyudham duryodhanastada acharyamupasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Sanjaya uvacha. So you'll hear this word uvacha, which means spoke. Sanjaya spoke, he speaks. Raja Pandava Anikam Drishtva. Who is this Raja? Duryodhana, the king Duryodhana, seeing the army of the Pandavas. So he sees the opposite army. Anikam. Anikam means army. Vyudham means well arranged according to battle formation. So there was an actual text in those times of battle formations, Vyuha. And some of you who have been exposed to Mahabharata before, you'll know there are different types of battle formations. Chakra Vyuha is one where the warriors go around in concentric circles. So one circle will go one way and the inner circle will go a different way. So the people trapped within that circle cannot escape. And Abhimanyu, a character in Mahabharata, got trapped in this Chakra Vyuha. So this Vyudam means they are well arranged for battle. They are in battle formation. Acharyam upasangamya. So Duryodhana goes to Acharya, his teacher. Which teacher? He goes to the teacher who needs buttering up. So Duryodhana is very manipulative. We know that. Like the whirlpools we saw in the Dhyāna shloka. He needs to butter up this Dronacharya, who is the archer, the teacher of archery, even though Bhishma, who is the other great, leader in the Kaurava camp, he is the commander-in-chief of the Kaurava army, Duryodhana does not go to him because he knows I have this person's loyalty. Drona he's not sure about. So he goes to him and Vachanam Abravit, he speaks the words. What does he say? Pashyetam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. O Drona, Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Pashyetam. Look at this huge army of the Pandavas that we're facing. And he's doing this to incite Drona. He wants to get him ready for battle because he feels he's half-half. He's not fully committed to his side. And he says, Tava Shishyena Dhimata. Look at that side and look who is leading that army. Your disciple. You are the one he's rubbing salt into his wounds. His disciple is known as Drishta Dyumna. Very big name, don't worry. Drishta Dyumna is the leader of Pandava camp. He's one of the commanders-in-chief. Tava Shishyena, your disciple, Dhimata, who is so clever, he's very, very, very intelligent. You are the one who taught him, and he is there in the opposing camp leading that army. Drupada Putrena Vyudham. So this also, why is he saying this particular character? Because there's a long history there. The father of this Drishtyadumna and Drona have had a big battle in Mahabharata from their childhood. So it has been a revenge seeking both sides, both of the characters, Drona and Drupada, this king Drupada, have constantly fought through the Mahabharata thing. So now he says, the son of your greatest enemy who you trained is there. Look at that. So getting him riled up. So Duryodhana is again inciting that anger in Drona. And then he says, Atra Shura Maheshvasaha Bhimarjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharathaha Drishtaketuschekitanaha Kashirajascha Viryavan Purujit Kunti Bojascha Shaibascha Narapungavaha Yudhamanyuscha Vikrantaha Uttamaujascha Viryavan Saubhadro Draupadeyascha Sarva eva Maharataha. So I've taken these three verses together, 4, 5, and 6, because he is listing important warriors on the opposing side. So Atra, in this army that is facing us, Shuraha, there are a lot of courageous warriors. Maheshvasaha means with great, great archers and bowmen. They are skilled in the art of archeries. And Maharataha, they are incredibly great warriors. So Maharatha is like a title. You have this, in England, you have this George Cross, Victoria Cross, all like that. Here, there's a title of warrior, Maharataha, who can fight with 10,000 chariots on the opposing side. So one warrior versus 10,000 chariots is called Maharataha. There are quite technical terms. Atirata means the highest award, which is you can fight more than 10,000 people at once, chariots. So he's just saying there are people with this type of capacity in the opposing camp. Bhima Arjuna Samaha. So Bhima is one of the Pancha Pandavas, the 5 brothers. Arjuna is one of the brothers. Bhima is known for his strength. He's known for his prowess, known for his capacity to kill anyone he comes across. He's quite a powerful, formidable opponent. So Duryodhana here says that they're all equal to Bhima and Arjuna, and they're ready for battle, ready to fight us. And why is he highlighting all these people? Because there is an intrinsic fear in him. There is a fear. Look at all these people. He knows he's doing the wrong thing. So that fear comes out in his words in the next few verses. Yuyudhanaha is another character. Virata Raja, another character. Virat, he is the king of the Virat kingdom. So that is just a small story on the side. Virat was the kingdom where the Pandavas had to go incognito for 1 year. So they had to hide without being recognized by the Kauravas. They had to hide for 1 year. So here, Virat kingdom, they hid for 1 year in various roles they did. So the Virata Raja, the king of that kingdom, is fighting with them. And Drupada is another king. He is also on the side of the Pandavas. Drishtaketuhu. I'm just going through all the names, but don't worry. There are so many stories behind all this. You just see how the names are. That's enough. Chekitanaha, another prince. Viryavan Kashi Rajaha, the powerful king of Kashi. they're all aligned, arrayed there on the battlefield. Purujit Kunti Bojascha. Purujit are the maternal uncles of the Pandavas. Shaibhya, who is the he's the father-in-law of one of the Pandavas, Yudhishthira. And Narapungavaha, he is known as the powerful warrior, best of warriors. So why is he listing? He's listing because there's a hidden fear that is arising in his mind, because he sees all these great people, even though he has shown himself to be a very powerful ego, very narcissistic personality. Inside narcissistic personalities is hidden a tiny little ego which is fearful. So that is what Duryodhana shows in these verses. So Yudamanyu, Uttamaujas, all of these are fighting in the battlefield with the Pandavas. And Saubhadraha is a name of Arjuna's son. Abhimanyu is another name, Saubhadra. And Sarva Eva Maharathaha. They are all extremely great warriors. They are the greatest of warriors. The next verse, he will now go on to listing who is on his side. So don't worry about so much these verses. As I said, I'm going through very quickly. It is an attendance register. He's saying this one, that one, and there are many stories behind which are interesting. When you have time, you can go back and look at why these characters are fighting on opposite sides. There are stories, back stories to all of this. The next verses, he will list who is on his side. So he wants to compare who is on his side and show the greatness of his own army. And he wants to, again, convince himself we are equally powerful, we are equally strong. So we will see that the next time we meet. And hopefully within this 1 week, I will complete this first chapter. I'm hoping to. Again, the teaching comes in the second chapter. So bear with all of these verses. It is interesting, but I will go through very quickly. So if there are any questions or doubts, you can just ask. And again, once a month, we will definitely do a Q&A. But if there's any doubts about any of this or anything you want to know more, please, you can unmute and ask. So I think it is quite clear. Yeah.
Yes, Swami, thank you. Hari Om, thank you so much. I'm wondering if we will get sent the verses in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, I think they are there. Is it there?
Oh, they're already there. I only found the first 5. Maybe I have missed it. I only found the first 5 verses, but I'll have a look again. Maybe I missed it.
Maybe we can send the first chapter again. Yeah. So that will get sent. We will send the first chapter. So you can take a printout or you can just keep a soft copy, whichever way you like. And there the basic meaning is there, so you can read the basic meaning. But if you have time in future, as I said, the Mahabharata study itself, you look at the characters, there's a lot of revenge and people having a lot of grudges. So it shows, living life like this never gives you full satisfaction in the long run. When I read through the characters, all the stories come up, but because of lack of time, I don't want to spend time. But some of the stories are very interesting. And, again, the human psychology comes out there. So when you have time, you can go through the characters and see their reasons for fighting on the side they are fighting. Very interesting. So we will leave for today and we will meet again on Tuesday evening, UK time, 8:30. So, Hari Om, Namaste. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Satgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya, Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. See you all on Tuesday evening. Hari Om. Have a very nice, pleasant Sunday. Don't think about battle and war.